many players are we gonna pick? 3?
Three. May I say we pick three? We should pick a goalie.
Yeah.
We should pick a goalie, two other players, and then our guests will decide who's going on the bench and who's going. What's happening, Facebook Frank? Always there, Facebook Frank.
Facebook Frank.
And by the way, Facebook Frank, it's going to be 8:30 from now on because Frank likes to message me every time we go on. Is it 8 or 8:30? Is it 8
Yeah,
or 8:30?
over here, I don't like to feel like I'm at work to do the podcast. Huh? So
Exactly.
8:30 in the
8:30. So Steve, no stress, no nothing. Fantastic. All right. I'll be right back.
Three players will be selected tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
For the decade of debauchery.
I think Steve, I believe we need to be the ones to select the starting goalie. And I have a pretty good idea. Probably have the good idea from over there, but we'll do that, and then I don't know. We'll go from year to year. That's not a problem. We have many players that we could pick from, right? So
yeah.
All right. Okay. So let me get the website. All right. So right now I'm at. Okay, I could start with this one here. All right. Ragazzi, no, Frank, no. We're gonna give it another 2 minutes, get some more people on, and away we go. Frankie sent me a message like, "Hey, by the way, if ever you needed another guest, I have plenty of bidones here on the side. What's happening, James?" He's on. I think he's got a novel. I think I might have to do a special podcast. Me, Tommy, and Facebook Frank. I'll give you the day off if you want, Steve. What do you think? It's a long week. Yeah. All right. So we do it, Steve?
Yep.
We start? All right. Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to a part 3 of the Decade of Debauchery here from the Milan Weekly Pod, the YouTube channel. Steve and I, in quarantine, we've decided to do this a couple of weeks ago. We're talking about our worst 11 or worst 11. Stevie P, how are you this fine Thursday evening?
Very good.
Very good. Steve, I don't know if you know them, remember them by heart, but can you tell our viewers who do we have so far on this team starting?
ONYEWU.
Okay, we're gonna go with that one. Yeah, center back. Yes. Who else is playing at center back? If you remember,
Bochetti.
Salvatore Bocchetti. Who else?
Bertolacci.
And
CERCI.
So those are our players so far, guys. So why don't we go take a Steve, if you don't mind, I would like to let me see over here. Audio input. All right. So here's my question, if you don't mind. Can I give you a year? I'm gonna give you the year on this one, and we'd like to pick 3 players this episode. And if you do not mind, Steve, because as soon as I opened up this 2016,
how come the quality of your voice is much better now?
Oh, because I changed the input. Sorry, you guys should have said something.
Just
now it is a lot better as well. Well, we're not professionals,
nor do we pretend to be.
Let's take it to 2016, 2017, Steve. If you do not mind, I would like to give in my personal recommendation to have this fantastic goalie, because the lineup start with the goalies. So how about starting for our worst of Decade of Debauchery, in goal, numero 30, number 30, Marco Storari. He came that one year, he came from Juve. What was he, 42 years old at the time? Un sogno, I'm coming back to the team of my heart. Did he even play a game?
No, didn't we loan him back?
I think we did after. But I don't know, because there's been Diego Lopez. I don't want to call him Bidone Diego Lopez during those times at Donnarumma, but what do you think about Marco Storari?
It's a good pick, but I think there's other ones like Amelia gets a credible note. Facebook
Sure.
Frank mentioned Agazzi. There's Gabriel who was supposed to be the next
All
coming
right,
of.
all right. But we
So
need to pick a goalie. We need to pick a goalie in this one. Okay, so let's go through the 2016, 2017, Steve.
yeah,
De Sciglio, Romagnoli, Zapata, Abate, Paletta, Antonelli. Antonelli. It's been a Calabria, Bonaventura, Honda, Mattia Fernandez. I remember that one. Gustavo Gomez. Gustavo Gomez. Andrea Poli, Riccardo Montolivo, Leonel Vangioni. That was another one. Steve, here's a good one. Jose Sosa.
Jose Sosa.
Kuchka, Matteo Gabbia, Zannellato, Locatelli, Mario Pasalic, Bertolacci, Delofeo, Suso, Lapadula, Lucas Ocampos, Patrick Cutrone, and Carlos Bacca. Wow. Okay, there's a pretty good choices in there, Steve.
Jose Sosa for me, guys, is number one.
Yeah, Jose Sosa is going to be. What did we? He
That
went to
was
Napoli.
the ultimate. It was the ultimate band-aid solution. We thought we were getting who knows who.
He
Didn't
was
work
in
out.
Napoli. He went to Turkey.
Turkey.
No,
Yeah,
then he came back,
Turkey, then back to it, then back to Milan, then back to Turkey.
and then back to Turkey.
Transbussasaur.
So Jose Sosa is in that list there. Are you keeping tabs? Because I brought myself a pen this time there. Are you
I have
keeping
a
tabs?
pen. Well,
Beautiful.
name them again. Name them again.
So Jose Sosa is making it on the list for today.
Jose Sosa, yeah.
Okay. How about Vangioni? Remember when we signed him? I think we paid him like 4 or 5 million that we came out of. Where did he come from? Vangioni was from. Let me see here. Argentina. We got okay. So we have Vangioni that can make Gustavo Gomez. He can maybe do the bench, Steve. He can maybe be our starting back at the on the bench because guys, I don't know if we mentioned it. There's too much. There's too much garbage that we can only come up with 11. There's going to be 5, possibly 7 substitutes on this team. But so Vangioni, Mattia Fernandez, Steve. We took him from Fiorentina.
Yes.
What did he do, that guy?
Not much.
Not much. Huh?
This is a depressing episode right here. We have 3 possible players.
We've just done 1 year. What else am I looking at? Antonelli. How many years did he play Antonelli with us?
He played. He was a trooper, though.
He wasn't a so far we have those names there. How about, what would you like me to go to? How about the year before, 2015, 2016? So we have we even had Alessandro Oliveri as a guy for goalie that year. De Sciglio, Mexes, Romagnoli, Rodrigo Elai. Rodrigo, I don't know if he's going to have to be on the bench there, Steve. We still have Gustavo Gomez as a good center back, but put him in that list. Stefan Simic, Alex. Who else do we have here? Calabria, Jose Mauri, Jeremy Menez, Honda, Andrea Poli, Montolivo, Kuchka, Bonaventura, Boateng, Locatelli, Bertolacci, Luis Adriano. Yeah, I think that one there, Steve. Mbaye Balotelli, and Carlos Bacca. So, Steve, what do you think out of all this 1 year?
I think Rodrigo Elai needs to play on the bench somewhere over here. We've named him too many times.
We have 2 center backs on the bench.
Yeah, that's how crap our center backs were. That's how shit.
How about Jose Mauri?
James, he has to look at the update of the squad. ONYEWU is already our starting center back. Starting Bidone center back.
It was our first ever pick. What else do we have over here? Jose Mauri, Antonelli. No, I don't think I have no problem with it.
So we mentioned Diego Lopez, right, Vinny?
Yeah,
And we wouldn't want to call him a bidon and everything, but even by they scored that terrible back pass goal where he faked that he pulled a hamstring, which actually
yeah,
cost him his starting spot, right? So he got that dumb goal scored on him, faked that his hamstring hurt, and then Mihailovic said, "You know what? If this guy's gonna do these shenanigans, let me start this 16-year-old kid and change the course of the goaltending world for Milan for the next 4 or 5 years." So for me, that gives me the bidon, right? Because
it's a good point, Steve. It's a good point because I think maybe we would have signed them. Maybe we would have signed him with higher expectations. We thought maybe he was going to be our goalie of the
well, that's it.
future.
We took him in because we needed
Goalie
a
of the
keeper,
future.
right?
Yeah,
We needed a keeper. So you bring this guy in and he loses his spot to a 16-year-old because that's basically what happened, right? No one had Donnarumma on the radar. They kind of were forced because of this fake. I call it a fake injury. Till this day, I think it's a fake injury that cost
yeah,
him his career at Milan. If he was going to even have a career, because he was on loan, and also that kind of mishkin bro that they did, right? So
yeah.
I think because I think the rumor has it we have a guest tonight.
We
So
do have a guest tonight.
I think it should be fitting because we know this guest. We know that he's played soccer in an important position, right, Vinny?
Yeah.
So who better to choose that position than our guest,
So you want him? So we're gonna ask him what to choose between Diego Lopez and who? Marco
Diego
Amelia.
Lopez, Marco Amelia.
You know what? Because I just popped up 2011, 2012, or Marco Amelia, Flavio Roma. Minky, that's another.
That's another fight. But those are guys that didn't really play, though.
Yeah. So he's got to pick. He's got to pick between Diego Lopez and Marco Amelia.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to explain to my cousin what these kind of characters are, guys. Speaking of my cousin, guys, for all the times that I've told you, my cousin, he's the one that got me into Milan with the posters. Here he is, but we didn't bring him on just for this reason, Steve. Oh no,
No.
because you understand, here at Milan Weekly Podcast, we care about our listeners' hygiene, about our viewers' cleanliness, as we should say. And because my cousin Johnny, not only is he a Milan fan, and we wanted to bring him in here for a public service announcement on behalf of Milan Weekly Podcast.
And
Steve,
Milan Club Montreal, because he is
and
a
Milan
Milan
Club
Club
Montreal.
Montreal.
Steve, what are we bringing him on today for?
So today we're bringing him on, ladies and gentlemen, for cleanliness and hygiene, because he is a sanitary engineer who takes care of multiple areas of cleanliness, toilet fixtures and creams, and of course we have hand sanitizer. We have Dyson hand cleansers, which are
Hand
non-contact
dryers.
hand dryers. You see, so I'll make him introduce himself. But the reason why, and he's laughing now, and he knows because this is an epiphany. As soon as as soon as you said Diego Lopez, Vinny,
Yeah, I
it
knew.
took
I opened you the door. I opened you
it
the
took
door. I'm
you
sorry.
opened me the door to a fantastic story, guys. Johnny here. We played soccer together at a local garage league, you want to call it. We're not professionals, nor do we
No, we
pretend to
pretend to
be.
be, right? Exactly.
Exactly. So Johnny was the keeper, and Johnny got scored on from a throw. Now the throw-in came from his own defender, guys, ladies and gentlemen, and it
Guys,
bounced.
listen to it.
It
I never
bounced.
knew about this story.
Yeah. So the throw-in bounced in front of Johnny. It was going over his head. He tipped it, and it went in his net. And we remain shocked to this day, guys. So as soon as Vinny said Diego Lopez, guys, Johnny needs to be the guy who selects the keeper, and I hope he selects Diego Lopez. Please.
My cousin Johnny, guys, welcome to the Milan Weekly
Thank you.
Podcast. And before you tell us what you do, as I ask every fan here, your most fondest memory of being a Milan fan when you were growing up. Your first Milan memory.
My first Milan memory. Well, it has to go back to the Marco van Basten days because that's how I fell in love with AC Milan. Uh, my dad used to. I was maybe what 6, 7 years old, I guess. Uh, maybe even a bit older than that. Not more than 10, that's for sure. My dad used to bring me to the cafe sometimes on Saturdays.
The cafe.
And
You went to the
cafe,
bar.
the bar, Cosenza to be more precise. It's a Leonard, which no longer exists. But there was one of my dad's friends, God rest his soul. He was a huge AC Milan fan, and I used to see the flag of AC Milan in the bar, and he used to tell me these stories about the three Dutchmen, Van Basten, Gullit, and Rijkaard, and it just happens that there was the games going on TV as well on La Rai, and yeah, and he was the one walking me through the players and all that stuff. So that's how I became an AC Milan fan. And oddly enough, as we all do, we have family in Italy. My family, we're Calabrese, but they all live in Milan, and nobody in Milan is a fan of AC Milan. They're all Juve merda or Interista di merda. So, but everybody here in Montreal became an AC Milan fan from my side of the family. So
There we
that's
go.
something I'm proud of. So
So
yes.
that's great, Johnny. But we're gonna leave you off with the demonstration. But
Yes.
Steve wants you to pick between Diego Lopez
Mhm.
and Marco Amelia. Who's going to be on this starting lineup and who's going to be on the bench? Now, Steve, explain it in my cousin's terms. An explanation of Diego
Johnny,
Lopez and Marco
this-
Amelia.
This is perfect, Johnny. Because this,
By the way, Steve, that is not my most embarrassing story as a goalie.
it's okay. It is on the show. Okay, so this is your chance, Johnny,
Yes.
to have someone else take that place of shame who got scored on, not from a throw-in, but from a back pass, from
Yes.
another. He's half a bidone. We're not gonna call him a full bidone, but Mattia De Sciglio for me is a bidone.
Okay.
Actually, it's very. That's another thing, Vinny. We haven't brought him up very much. He should be a bidone.
Who?
Mattia De Sciglio. So
Well,
back
okay.
pass to Diego Lopez, who faked an injury to avoid embarrassment, to only lose his position to a 16-year-old.
I'm gonna have to YouTube that.
Yeah.
So that's Diego Lopez. And how would you explain Marco Amelia, Steve? The second goalie that got a chance to go first when Abbiati took his retirement?
Exactly, yeah. So he was the next coming of taking over the reins from Abbiati.
Yeah.
Look, guys, Marco Amelia, if I'm not mistaken, Vinny, and it escapes me right now. I think he's even on that World Cup squad. If I'm not, if 2006, he's on that World Cup. So he's a 2006 World
Six
Cup
champion.
winner
Yes.
who came to Milan and became a bidone.
So Amelia, so is Amelia a better pick than Storari?
If you want to pick two goalers today, yes.
Yeah, okay. So my cousin Johnny needs to go from the, hey, I've been second all my life. Here's my chance at Milan and I screwed up.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I faked an injury and some 16-year-old took over my spot and I wasn't planning to move anywhere. Where did he end up, Diego Lopez? Somewhere in
We
England?
don't know. We don't even want to know. They forgot about him. Honestly, he got Donnarumma.
He got to the room. So, Johnny, before you give us your probably, we all know who you're going to pick. What is your worst story other than being scored on the throw-in?
So it goes back to actually when I was younger. And you guys have mutual friends that could corroborate what I'm saying. I was at a tournament in Laval, and during the game, it started to thunder and lightning. And little Johnny, he wasn't too crazy about lightning. So at that time in the 80s, it's not like today. Today, if there's lightning, they stop the game. Everybody goes in the dressing room, because they know that people can die on the pitch, right?
80s,
But
you
in the
played.
80s, it wasn't like that. So, but, I am still aware that you could get struck by lightning. And so during the game, it started to be lightning. And the game was still going on. And I decided to run away from my net and go hide behind my coach, and I didn't want to go back in net. So that
Wow.
was
I'm gonna go with the scoring on a throw-in, Steve. Sorry, your story's a lot better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
little young Johnny, like scared of the thunder. That's understandable. Unless you
No.
were like 17 at the time, that's different.
Hey, you
But
don't know how that feels, all right?
uh, I'm still gonna go with the throw-in. So Johnny, between the both choices that you have, who's
I got,
getting the starting on this one?
yeah, well, I gotta go with Diego Lopez. That's for sure. I mean, I
So
mean,
Diego Lopez is starting on this fantastic starting 11.
for having being in that position, similar position, and especially that he never saw the field after that. I mean,
You know
it's
what,
It was
Johnny? You know what, Johnny? He saves. He saves you because you got scored on but did not fake an injury.
no, I
And we
didn't.
There you go. So
and
there's Diego
and
Lopez here, Johnny, right? He's up here, but you're just below here. So you're okay. You're okay.
and we had no 16-year-old to take your place.
Exactly.
There we go. So, guys, what we decided to do, a lot of people are talking about, in the world today, news, washing your hands and make sure that you're clean. And a lot of questions come up most of the time, and he kind of took the time to explain to us on our WhatsApp group. But, Johnny, our cell phones are something that sometimes people don't take the time to think about how dirty these things can be. You can wash your hands, this and that, but then what are you touching? Where's your cell phone been? I believe some people are saying that a cell phone can be as dirty as money. So thank you for taking the time for this public service announcement. And please talk to us like how can the Milan fans, anybody out there, take better care of their cell phones and how to clean them properly?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I brought some stuff over here that I could demonstrate how to clean a cell phone. But I just want to clarify that I like to say I'm a hygiene consultant, so I'm not a doctor, so I'm not a health professional, but
Nor does he.
nor do I pretend to be. But I do lend. I do offer my services for the company I represent to make businesses a safer environment and educate also clients on better hygiene practices. So, as you pointed out, Vinny, cell phones can be extremely dirty, right? Because you don't know where they've been. They could be left on the table or anything like that. You don't know if the table has been contaminated. I guess you could say it's almost as dirty as money. You could do that comparison. So, once in a while, I encourage people to maybe to be able to, sanitize their phone. There's a few things that you can do. The most popular thing that you can do is Lysol wipes. Okay.
Oh my god.
Yes, yes, yeah. They're very scarce right now, which is why my wife asked me to make sure I just show it and not use them. But they're
Don't use that.
Not allowed, guys. He's not allowed to use not even a square of the
exactly,
Lysol. So he's going to be using some other material for demonstration purposes only.
exactly.
So
So,
just pretend
so
that's a Lysol sheet.
Fix your
exactly.
gain. Fix your gain, Vinny. You're screaming. They're very muffled.
Okay, so
Sorry.
so you could use a Lysol wipe. Just make sure that your phone is completely blank. Like not on or anything like that. And basically, if I pretend this is a Lysol wipe, you just clean it properly. Whatever. If you have a casing, I would recommend to remove the phone from the casing and also clean the inside of the phone and the casing inside as well. And then just let it to dry. If you don't have Lysol wipes, I have the luxury for a working company where I could get my hand on pretty much anything.
Look at the size of it.
So I have over here what we call Purell multi-surface sanitizer, which is $39.99 for a case of 3, by the way. But this is a multi-surface sanitizer. So it's basically a wipe, a Lysol, a wipe, but in a bottle. And all you can do is basically here. You just spruce a little bit over here.
You're allowed for 3 spoons.
Yeah, I'm allowed to have that. That's not a problem. So, and then you just, like I said, you just clean, disinfect your phone properly, and you remove it from the casing. There you go. You just clean it properly. There you go, and let it dry. And that's it. So that's the demo. So just a little, maybe a little public safety announcement, like you said, Vinny, just to, I just want to take 2 seconds to say that people, what they should know about hand sanitizers and stuff like that, as well, is that, you know, once whether you put hand sanitizer on your hand or you disinfect an area, it doesn't mean that your surface or your hands become immediately immune to whatever product you use to disinfect. So if for example, I just wipe my phone and it's drying right now, and I put it on a surface where it might be infected, well, the bacteria is going to go back on the phone. So when you disinfect something or you disinfect your hands on hand sanitizer, what you're doing right now is you're disinfecting your hand at the moment of applying the sanitizer. But if 5 minutes later you go open up a door and there's a virus or infected, then the bacteria is back on your hand, and it's going to be there until you go wash your hands or sanitize your hand one more time.
And
So that
Frank was asking on the comments.
Yeah.
Says, I know, like, you don't sell, like, Javel water and vinegar to mix your clean surfaces.
Mhm.
Do you know about the difference between people using, let's say, household products? Would it be, bleach, water, vinegar, compared to, like, let's say, Purell, or a product that you might sell?
So here's the thing, guys. Right now, as we speak, it's funny because this COVID-19 had to come out to say, oh my God, we need to do something about viruses and all that stuff. Bacteria has been existing forever, right? Right now, as we speak, there are no product in the world that have been tested and have the seal that says kill COVID-19. There are products that exist, and if you go on Health Canada website, you could do a quick search, and Health Canada will provide you a list of disinfectant that are how can I say this, that are considered to be effective against the COVID-2 SARS virus, which causes the COVID, which is the same family of the COVID-19, but
it's a different strain of COVID-19.
Exactly. So there are no miracle disinfectant out there right now that is proven that kills COVID-19 virus. Now, Javel, I mean, it's a bleaching agent. It's not necessarily a disinfectant. It's not necessarily good for the wildlife too, as well, by the way, just for the environment as well. But
so let's make a long story short.
Yeah.
Buy the Purell. Buy a product that's been tested and
alcohol based 70%.
Exactly.
Possible. Exactly. Alcohol based 70%.
And keep yourself because like you're saying, the cell phone, like you're saying, you can clean your hands all you want. Your cell phone is something that we might be touching 200 to 300 times a day. So
Exactly.
It's saying, like, just make sure that you guys clean that kind of stuff. And this is what we do here in Milan Weekly Podcast, Steve. We care for the people. We try to tell you how to clean your phone, how to stay clean. We bring in a fellow Milanista that used to be a goalie that played not as bad as Diego Lopez. So thank you very much for that. But in the end, Johnny, you are the reason why I become a Milan fan. And I know we don't see each other as we used to be but you know what? Next game at Chocharo's, we'll see each other over there, hopefully in the next 6 months. Steve, what do you think? Maybe next year? Who knows?
Don't say 6 months. It has to be before that.
It has to be before that. But Johnny, thank you so very much for taking the time to.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me.
To show us all this stuff here. Ovunque sempre, Forza Milan, and we'll
Forza
talk
Milan.
to you.
Thanks,
Ciao,
guys.
ciao.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Ciao.
Steve, that's what we do.
Presidente won't be happy with the sound there, that's for sure. So we're gonna get he has a black mark.
Yeah, but it's not a podcast, Steve.
Presidente is somewhere around here. He's lurking. I feel him lurking.
But kind of cool that he was embracing the fact that he got scored on a.
Oh my God! Thank you, Vinny. I would have never put that together if you didn't name the name Diego Lopez.
So we've determined so far Diego Lopez is starting in nets. Steve, we have a job to do. Who do you have over there on that list that you wrote down?
We have Jose Sosa. Vangioni, who was sounded the most Italian name that wasn't Italian.
That was an attack. But I remember there was some big hopes for him. No big hopes.
Oh,
It's like
yeah, yeah. Mattia Fernandez, Gustavo Gomez,
can I add one?
Rodrigo Elai.
Rodrigo Lai, that's made it a bit because right now I just clicked on 2011 2012 and the first name that comes to in front of my face is Taye Taiwo.
Taye Taiwo.
He could be our starting, what was he, a left back or something like that. So what are we doing, Steve? Are we putting two if we're gonna have bench players, so we come up with what do you need, 2 players, 3 players? We already picked our starting goalie.
Yeah, so now I would like to pick between Mattia Fernandez, Vangioni, and Sosa.
I'm gonna go with Vangioni, dude. Because forget Sosa or Fernandez, because Vangioni was bought with a purpose. When you have multiple articles coming out about you, and we did not pay him like $1 million. I think it was at least 4 to 5 million, if not more.
It was a mistake. It was a mistake.
It was a mistake. Vangioni for me, and Vangioni was a what year? Let me go back to the year that we were. Vangioni was a midfielder, was he not?
We don't know where he would play. He would be a midfielder. We tried him at right back. Exactly fits into the realm of shit that we've been going through for the past 5 to 10 years.
Because, okay, so Vangioni was a midfielder, but Steve, I don't know how we haven't popped up the year, and I think it's the year after. Where's Bakai Traore in all these things?
Well, we're gonna pass him.
Wait, so, Bakai is making this team. Would it be on the bench on this or on the starting lineup?
Guaranteed. So we have a midfield right now of Bertolacci and Vangioni.
Okay, so that's our midfield right now.
I would personally, honestly, at least as a bench player, Jose Sosa needs to make this team.
Okay, so what are your arguments on Jose Sosa? Jose Sosa was a midfielder, correct?
Yes.
So now you're gonna have to give me why Jose Sosa over Bakai Traore. Because Bakai Traore scored against Barcelona that Champions League game.
We could put them both. Right? But there's one spot. Okay, we're gonna get it out of the way the next podcast. But we're gonna choose our captain, who's gonna start on this team, right? So there's one midfield spot that's. I mean,
Vangioni says he was a left back, but Vangioni, ESPN says he was a midfielder, so he's probably a winger there, Frank. He loves correcting us.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Steve, you were saying?
Next podcast, we're going to take care of our captain, and our captain will suit up in this midfield there. So if we add Vangioni now with Bertolacci, that's 2.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to add the captain, which is 3 in the midfield. There's a spot for 1, right? So honorable mention to Jose Sosa this week. Let's put it that.
Jose Sosa. I'm going to do another research here. Leonel Vangioni, because Frank, if not, he's not going to leave us alone. Leonel Vangioni, to make sure what position did he play? Vangioni. Okay.
We bought him as a midfielder. He played as a back. It's very simple.
We decided to put him wherever the hell we want.
Exactly.
He is a defender. Says he is a defender. So are we putting him as one of the? You want to put him as one of our starting back fours?
Well, he's gonna make the back 4 then.
Okay, so so Frank says in a left back. So Vangioni
is the left back.
Is our starting left back. All right, perfect.
So now we have space for Jose Sosa, thanks to Facebook Frank.
Bakai Traore does not deserve more than Sosa.
We have space for both of them.
So you want to put? We have CERCI.
Oh, we have CERCI too.
We have Bertolacci and CERCI right now.
Yeah, Jose Sosa, honorable mention.
Honorable mention. He might make it. Maybe how about he makes the bench, Steve? How about we make our first official bench selection?
Bench selection, yes.
So far, the decisions that we have made or have been made for us. My cousin Johnny says Diego Lopez is a starting goaler. Vangioni is our starting left back, and Jose Sosa is our super substitute in the midfield.
And now I would like to pick a striker.
Okay, Steve, I have a question for you. Other than Fernando Torres is making this team, is he not?
Luis Adriano. Luis Adriano flew to China. He flew to China.
Yeah, you went to make $20 million for 6 months.
No. The first time he flew to China, remember they rescinded his contract. They were supposed to sign. They flew him there and flew him back,
Okay.
and we probably paid for the flight.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
another one. He's another one.
Okay, Luis Adriano is on the starting lineup as a striker. Fernando Torres, is he good enough to make the bench?
I think Fernando
You know,
Torres
Steve-
can.
Steve, let me ask you: you have any good memories of Torres? You have a memory? I know he scored 2 goals, 3 goals, whatever. Anything that he made us win a game or something?
I think he made us win a game against Bologna or something. A header.
A header. That's what I remember. I don't know
Bologna
why.
or Genoa. I remember the red and the blue.
Okay, so right now, can we make an executive decision and say that we have? Let's recap, Steve. Diego starting 11. We have added Diego Lopez. We have added Leonel, not Lionel, Leonel Vangioni as a left back.
Yes.
We have added Bakai Traore in the midfield. And numero 9, Luis Adriano as our striker.
Yes.
And we've added Sosa to the bench
Yes.
and Fernando Torres to the bench.
Yes.
So that means we still have a striker to go pick on our starting line because we went with a 4-4-2 kind of formation.
Yes. But we remember we have. Can you check what position? Because we might as well take him right away.
What?
Taiwo.
Taiwo was a winger. You see, we have too many players, Steve. You know what? Taiwo, I know he was a defender, that's for sure. But let me go back to the year. And Frank likes to correct us over there, And no, the game might have been against Temple. It's not the point, Frank. It's not the point.
Beautiful.
Who am I checking again, Steve?
Taiwo.
Taiwo was a defenseman, and I believe so. We can put him on the other wing. I know he was a winger because I always remember he had the legs. Was a left back. You know what, Frank? We're gonna put him as a right back because this is our starting 11. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
Taiwo. That's how fucked up our starting 11 is. We're gonna put him on the right back.
But because Vangioni was such a prodigy, we're gonna make him play. We came in as a midfielder. We're gonna make him play on the right back. So, you know what? Just for Facebook, Frank, Taiwo left back, Vangioni right back. Are you happy?
I'm happy with that.
Fucking Frank, always this great. Thank God we got Frank as Liban Youssef. Oh my God, Adriano coming back from China was fucking funny. Yeah, that was pretty sad.
So let's recap. I'm gonna recap for everybody.
We have our starting four, back four.
Yeah, we finished the back and a keeper, a starting keeper. We're gonna have to find the backup.
We're getting there.
Diego Lopez will be starting in nets for this decade of the debauchery for getting scored on from a back pass by Mattia Di Cilio, who's also someone who's going to make it on the bench just because I hate him. Faked an injury and lost his career to a 16-year-old, which thank God for us because that 16-year-old is going to bring us at least 60 million. Then we're going to go with Lionel Vangioni, who apparently was a left back, but probably played wing his entire career at Milan because that's just what we do.
We got signed as a midfield and we played the defense.
Played him defense, yeah. So Jose Sosa is our first bench player selected because we signed him. Yeah, we signed him like as if he was going to be Mr. X. Remember Mr. X? That's who we signed. Jose Sosa, Mr. X in the summer, and he was Mr. Patate. Starting striker will be Mr. Luis Adriano Air Miles, who took a trip to China after we sold him after he decided to sign with a Chinese team, and went to that signing and came straight back home because they rescinded his contract. right back, even though he played left back. Taiwo makes our team. And bench striker El Nino Fernando Torres for his time at Milan, ladies and gentlemen. For everybody who's gonna watch this, for his time at Milan
Yes,
was
yes.
a bidone.
We don't.
A
And my cousin
bidone.
Johnny, you were asking if we could put Bonucci. No, Johnny, when you have the likes of Oguchi Onyewu and Salvatore Bocchetti and Rodrigo Elai, but Bonucci doesn't have time to make it onto the starting 11.
Imagine he's that terrible that he's that much of a villain that people would want to see him on this decade of debauchery for one season at
You could
Milan.
do it. You could do a starting 11 of the most disappointing players. That Cassano, Bonucci,
Yeah,
come to mind, all these players, but
Higuain.
Higuain. I mean, this is like we have a lot of projects
Eh,
we could come up
maybe
to.
that's an episode.
The biggest,
Most disappointing.
most disappointing starting 11. I like that. I like that. So, Steve, I'm gonna go upload. I'm gonna go upload our players. I'm gonna go because I'm doing the Instagram now. I'm finding it out. You're teaching me what to do, but it's coming along. It's coming along, and yeah, definitely we'll have a fun to pick out. We just gotta find our next guest. I know David from Milan Club Montreal is like, I need to get on the show. Everybody wants to get on the show. Everybody wants to get on the show, guys. Thank you so very much for everything, for listening to us, to letting us entertain you with all these the decade of debauchery starting 11. I hope you're enjoying. Stay tuned for the next ones. We don't know when it's going to be on. You think we have a schedule? Does Steve look like the man that he has a schedule? I just go by whenever Steve tells me he's ready to go, we go. Right, Steve?
Ready.
Have yourselves a pleasant evening. Stay safe. We will see you on Monday. And Steve and I have a surprise for you guys on Monday, but we're not going to say. Just make sure you stay tuned. Ovunque sempre, guys.
Forza Milan.
Ciao. Okay, let me...